Let's dive in, not waste your guys' time, in talking about some of the most beautiful cars right now on the market. Here at Vagabond Builds with James and Sandy for more car reviews and car products. Just don't forget to like and subscribe as we truly need and appreciate your guys' support. Hey, shout out to Nilo Land Rover and Nilo Porsche here in Rockland, California. Stores are right beside each other for providing us these vehicles for this comparison review, as well as if you have something for us to film, here's our email below. Email us, we'll talk details later. So let's dive in as we have a plethora of things to talk about between the 2025 Range Rover in the P360 SE trim, which is pretty much the base level entry trim, versus the Porsche Cayenne base level entry, but this has a lot of add-ons. Now, literally, the Porsche Cayenne is coming in at $84,000 MSRP price base, has about a $31,000 add-on sticker. Guys, I have to say, I know you guys might give me some heat in this video because you're saying that we're comparing apples to oranges, but I'm gonna have to do it versus the Range Rover Sport. Coming in at $92,000 and some change, but the base price is about the same in comparison to the Porsche Cayenne. Let's talk about the powertrains first. On the powertrain of the Porsche Cayenne, you're getting a 3.0 liter turbocharged V6 8-speed automatic transmission, pushing 348 horsepower with 368 pounds-feet of torque. Now, if you go over to the Sport is pushing a 3.0 liter 6 inline. So you got a V6 in the Porsche and an inline 6 on the Range Rover. 8-speed automatic transmission, and it is turbocharged. And that one is pushing 355 horsepower with 365 pounds-feet of torque. Well, as you guys can see that they're just right around that same area, and you might be asking, what's the 0 to 60 time? Well, 0 to 60 is the exact same on both. 5.7 seconds on the Range Rover Sport, 5.7 seconds on the Porsche Cayenne. And I have to say, if you do happen to tap on or tack on a Sport Chronos package on the Porsche, you can do 0 to 60 in about 5.4 seconds, but of course it's gonna cost you just a little bit of extra money. And then you're gonna say, well, why don't we do it to the Range Rover Sport or upgrade other things on that as well? So 0 to 60, 5.7 seconds. Now, dimensions on both. Let's first start with the Porsche Cayenne, and it's going to be significantly smaller on the dimensions. Starting with the length in inches is going to be 194 inches in length, 78 inches in width, 67 inches in height with a 114-inch wheelbase. On the Sport, we're going to go ahead and give you 195 inches in length, so 1 inch extra longer. Now 81 inches in width, so 3 inches wider, 72 inches in height, so 5 inches taller, with a 118-inch wheelbase, which makes it 4 inches longer on that wheelbase. When you are towing capacity is going to be exactly the same, 7,716 pounds of towing capacity. So enough for a jet ski, a boat, a trailer, nothing too heavy, okay? Now, as well as you gotta have to, on both, you have to be equipped with this towing packages, okay? Now, as you guys can see, the front ends of both vehicles, the Porsche Cayenne does have a little bit more slimmer or sleek design on the front end with the quad LED projector headlights blacked out, and we do have that squared off rugged front end, 360 panoramic camera, the grille in the high gloss black dropping down, kind of cuts it short there on the center area with that little trim piece there, and we have the active radiator vents here on the right and left. Coming over to the Range Rover Sport, again, you are going to get more of pinnacle luxury in the Range Rover with the dual LED projector headlights with the daytime running lights in the crystallized polka dot design, as we also have the hazards dropping down to the headlight washers, and we have the LED fog lights down here with no live air vents, but you do have bumper sensors here and here with the 360 panoramic camera. 3 different grills, upper, mid, and lower. So you do have a softer design on the Range Rover. It doesn't seem like you're gonna be really racing the Range Rover. It seems like you're gonna be tracking the Porsche Cayenne by just the front end looks. Now we come over to the sides of the vehicles. Got some bezeling on the hood here and here on the fender on the Sport, no bezeling on the Porsche kept it simplified. But you do have a wheel well trim on the Porsche Cayenne, no wheel well trim, giving it a cleaner, minimalist look on the Sport. Both of these rims and tires are going to be add-ons on the stickers. So as I drop those stickers, you guys are going to see this is going to cost you extra money. Here on the Porsche Cayenne, you have the Bridgestone Alenzas Sport all-season tire. And what do we get on the sides of this exact rim? It's going to be 285, 45, 21 with a shock spring strut suspension versus the Pirelli Scorpion MS rubber. And this is size on this is a 285, 40, 23. So way bigger rim, high gloss black, as well as an air ride suspension. All right. Side mirrors, a little bit more bulky on the Sport. Integrated blinker lighting, 360 panoramic camera, automatic foldable with blind spot assist. Same exact setup here, just a little more sleek design on the side mirror. Integrated blinker lighting, camera, blind spot assist, automatic foldable. Coming over to the handles. Deployable handles on the Sport. Non-deployable here on the Porsche. Gotta say, I do like the handles on the Sport a little bit better. All right. You don't have soft closing doors. Looks a little bit outdated on the Porsche Cayenne, I have to say. Dropping down, I do like the fact on the Porsche Cayenne that you don't have a protruding rocker panel cover. So this is a little bit more kind of old style looking with the matte black plastic. I don't know how I feel about that. I love it when it looks all painted like that. Keyless fob entry on both. But here's where the nice part comes in on the Sport. No trim on the bottom of that window. We do have high gloss black trim. And again, you have bigger glass on the Sport versus the Porsche Cayenne. Smaller glass, high gloss black trim all the way around. You're getting roof rails on the Porsche Cayenne. Over to the rear of this, where you see a lot of difference. Again, this looks more of a full-size SUV versus, again, more of a Sportback, kind of aggressive, going around those corners, hugging them, kissing those corners on the Porsche. So I have to say, on the track, too bad we can't even drive these, as we would love to give you guys the point of view with regards to the angling and the gas pedals and the feel of the suspension system. We just can't do that, okay? So you got the pop out here on the quarter panel, wide stance. Here we don't have such a pop out, just kind of the privacy glass with just kind of a straight edge quarter panel. Now let's go over to the rear ends. Both, of course, take 91 octane gas. You do have gas tank lids on both. Gas caps, I might say. The lids, of course, you have them on both. Hello. Over to the Porsche Cayenne, you kind of have more of a Sportback model. Spoiler, brake light, privacy glass, and a wiper. Porsche with the LED bar going across this is where I love the Porsche over the Sport, the Cayenne, is because of that LED tail light bar. It just looks phenomenal at night. And we left the hazards on so you guys get an idea. Cayenne, and we drop down bumper sensors with the Sport diffuser with the active or live Sport exhaust tips and parking reflectors, okay? Coming over to the Sport, bigger, all right? So it does look a little bit more heavier on this Sport. Spoiler up top, brake light, privacy glass, and the wiper is tucked under. Again, a cleaner look on the Sport. Range Rover going across, and I'm not too crazy about these taillights on the Sport. LED, but they go into the quarter panel. Again, does give it more of a softer luxury vibe on the Sport. Dropping down, backup camera right over that Nilo.com license plate, as well as you get that in around the same area on the Porsche Cayenne, more of the lower side of that rear end. Matte black plastic and active exhaust tips with the Sport diffusers. Let's go ahead and press the button to get inside the cargo. Now, since I'm here in the cargo area of the Porsche Cayenne, you're going to get a way smaller cargo capacity when it comes to the Cayenne. Cayenne on the cargo is going to be 27 cubic feet of space, second row seat up, 60 cubic feet of space when the second row seat down. On the right-hand side, we have LED lighting, a spare tire under the mat of the Porsche Cayenne, a mesh pocket with some cubby room, and LED. You actually have to drop those seats manually from the inside of the second row seating by the lever on the side of the bottom rest. If we come over to the cargo area of the Range Rover Sport, you're going to get 32 cubic feet of space, second row seat up, 72 cubic feet of space, second row seat down. So you're talking about 5 extra cubic feet of space with the second row seat up, and you're talking about 12 extra cubic feet of space with the second row seat down. Let's take these out real quick so you guys get an idea of what they look like. Completely empty. This is what it looks like. Got a 12-volt outlet, mesh pocketing, and switches to actually drop these back seats, okay? Now we have air ride suspension controls here to actually drop and pick up that rear end. If you're wanting to tow a trailer or whatnot, you just got to pick it up and drop it. You can actually control it by those touch sensitive buttons. You also do have a spare tire, and I have to say this is actually inflated, so I kind of like this better. All right, that's pretty much it for the cargo, and let's go ahead and shoot you guys into the interiors and show you guys the interiors. Before we continue with this video, if you find yourself in the Sacramento, California, or the greater Sacramento area like Rockland, Roseville, Elk Grove, and many other cities, if you need a passenger van rental for the friends and the family for the fun activities such as San Francisco, Napa Valley Wine Country, Yosemite, Lake Tahoe, Yellowstone, and many other places, use the link in the description below and rent from Vagabond Van Rentals. We also deliver. Thanks, guys. Let's go ahead and continue with this video. Now inside first, the Porsche Cayenne. Now we have about the same colors. We got the beige inside the Cayenne. Seats look completely different, a little bit more sporty in the Porsche, of course. Leg extensions, electric controls, they do come heated and ventilated seats, so you do get the bells and whistles inside the Porsche Cayenne at 116. Stitching patterns completely different. Now you're going to see a lot of difference on the dashboards. Again, more sporty, more rough looking on the Porsche Cayenne, where the Range Rover Sport in this video is going to be a bit softer, again, more luxury. Lockable glove compartment. Over to the infotainment screen. This is what your infotainment screen is going to look like. We'll show you the navigation. All right, you do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto in the Porsche Cayenne. And this is what your apps do look like. You get the home link system, your media, Bluetooth, your trim work in the silver textured, dropping down air vents in the matte black plastic with your wireless charging pad, 2 USB-C plugins. And I have to say, I do like the Porsche key fob better than the Sport. Dual climate controls. I find this very easy and consumer friendly on the dual climate controls with the heated and ventilated seats, and I'll show you guys why when I get into the Sport. I love these Cayenne handles. We do know this is actually corporate stamp on the Porsche Cayenne. It's just very nice if you need a handle, if you're on the track or just driving fast around town. You can hold on and your passenger can hold on. Cup holders, 12-volt outlet, and some center console area. Electric controlled sun visor with the tilt slide moonroof option. In front of that, you get a frameless auto dimmable rear view mirror with garage door opening capabilities. If you do have a Sport Chronos package, you'll see the Sport Chronos clock here. That'll give you a little bit of extra boof on your gas pedal. Oomph, not boof. Cluster. You can change the theme of that cluster, mess around with the design of that cluster, and so much more with your info cards on the right and on the left. There you go, just like that as well on the left. And mess around again with the theme too. Let's go into the old Porsche look. The steering wheel, got the sport steering, drive modes, got off-road, sport, drive modes, and pretty much it. We'll keep it in normal. As well as the leather wrapped steering wheel, paddle shifters for the 8-speed automatic transmission, a lever there for your windshield wipers, a lever here for your signal lights and your high beams, and then you have a third lever for your cruise control. Further left, we have your lighting system here. Then we come over to the door panel, complete different looking on the door panel. Again, more rough and stiff looking on the door panel with the Cayenne handles, very nice and sturdy. Bose premium sound system with the memory seating unlock lock, and this is the design overall. Now that we're pretty much done with the front side, let's show you second row seating of the Cayenne, then jump inside the Sport. Now second row seating, everybody, and I want to mention this, that I could not find the numbers in regards to the legroom on the Porsche Cayenne. And I have to say, it's more than enough room. It does feel pretty airy in here, not claustrophobic at all. 5 adults will fit comfortably inside the Porsche Cayenne. Seating surfaces do feel a bit more stiff, all right, a bit more rough on the seating surfaces, more sportier feel. Inside the Range Rover Sport, you're going to get more of a cushion plush feel. Cup holders, nice and simple back here. Car seat compatibility. In front, we have the hard backs of those front seats, giving it more of a, again, sportier look. Mesh. In between, we have heated seats, 2 USB-C plugins, 12-volt outlet, and a little shelf right here for personal belongings. Up top, Euro snap handles, your reading lights right over there. And the door panels looking the same, coming in from the front over to the back. Now we're done with the Cayenne. Let's jump inside the Range Rover Sport. So now inside the Sport, everybody. So again, we got the kind of brown or beige look. This is called the Caratway Windsor color. And starting with the door sill plates, we're getting illuminated door sill plates rather than the Cayenne did not get illumination. Over to the seating surfaces. Now, no Sport, yet more plush inside the Range Rover Sport. All right, so if you ask me, gosh, I don't want to really compare the both, because I do really believe you're comparing apples to oranges from Range Rover Sport, because even though it's still a sport, you're still getting Range Rover like luxury, okay? Heated seats, ventilated seats, memory seating, as well as electric controlled. Again, they do feel softer, more lazy boy couch-ish feeling. In front, simplified look. We do not have no handles here. We just have 2 buttons, one for the lower glove compartment, and then one here for the upper glove compartment with the 12-volt outlets in here as well. Then we come over to the air vents on the chrome black. Again, more luxury. The Cayenne had the matte black plastic look. Over to the PV Pro system, 13.1-inch screen. I find the PV Pro system slightly not as consumer friendly as the Porsche Cayenne. When I want to control the temperature, I have to go in, control heated seats. This is my airflow. Instead, the Porsche Cayenne had them right here on the hard buttons, right? Click that off, and then come over to messing around with your media. Again, everything is touch sensitive, and I can find myself actually getting distracted as I'm driving, just controlling everything touch sensitive. So keep that in mind. Navigation, this is what your navigation looks like. All right. Then we come over and we go over to the apps. This is what your apps look like. Here with the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, your camera system, 360 panoramic camera. This is behind, or sorry, in front of us. You could actually change the angle, mess around with that, and so much more, like mess around and see actually what your vehicle is doing with your wheel info, your weight sensing, 4x4, all right, and go back. Now, wireless charging pad, we have one USB-C plug-in down here. I'm not too big of a fan of the center console because it does feel a little bit more less roomy in here. If you actually compare it over to the Cayenne, it's a lower center console, feels a bit more open space. Shift lever, start, engine, stop, cup holders, and this is where your key fob looks like, just kind of an average, normal looking key fob. Slide this back and you get another USB-C plug-in with more room, and simple, straight to the point, very deep center console area. Over to the rear view mirror. Rear view mirror, same exact setup with the rear frameless, auto dimmable, and garage door opening. Electric sun visors and tilt slide moonroof option as well. Coming over to the steering wheel. The steering wheel in the leather wrapped heated steering. The spokes, again, more luxury feel. Paddle shifters for the 8-speed, a lever here for the windshield wipers, a lever here on the left for all your lights. So it's going to be headlights, tail lights, fog lights, signal lights, high beams, all in one lever, to where the Porsche actually split that up, okay? Now, you can mess around also with that screen as well with your layout, display layout, and let me show you guys just a real quick look on the map. You could actually set that on the map. You could also do that on the Porsche too, so don't think just because I didn't show you, but you can do it on the Porsche. This is what your cluster looks like. Over to the door panel itself. Again, more plush on the door panel, more classy feel. Again, $116,000, guys. Focus on the price point. Meridian sound system versus the Bose. Both sound very good. Chrome black, unlock, lock button, window switches, and controls to your seating. Now that we're done with the front, let's shoot over to the second row seating. Now second row seating inside the Range Rover Sport, everyone. Well, this is what it looks like back here in more plush feel. The back bench is a bit more soft. You do have more bells and whistles here. You can control the backrest like that on your door, as well as your armrest leaks even nicer with the center console area and your cup holders that actually pop out. Put that up, and then we also have hardbacks. Now the full back of the seat isn't hardback. It's about 75% hardback with the hardback front seats and hardback pockets. Sorry, in between air vents. No climate control back here, but you do have heated and ventilated seats on the second row seating as well. You can just control your airflow by pressing that button there. All right, now everyone, as we like to drop the MSRP stickers, first to the Porsche Cayenne, coming in at $116. Base entry price is around the $84,700 mark. A lot of add-ons. Pause that video, check out that sticker. Hopefully it did help you guys out. Now the Range Rover Sport coming in at $92,000 and some change. And the base level entry price of this is going to be around the same price at $83,700. So give and take a few $100 in between each one. Now, if you guys ask me which one would I choose, I'm not answering that because I kind of know. I just don't want to incline or be biased in my opinions. It comes down to preference, what you guys like. All right. Thank you so much for watching our channel. Hopefully this did help you guys out with the base level entry trims in Porsche and Range Rover. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless.